you are all formally dressed. I'm not, because I was on a holiday and just came to, was requested that I present, and I do not have formals with me, so here I am. It's more of an American thing rather than in English, so though I stay in UK, but whatever, my apologies to you all. As Dr. Raghuvir Singh said, case studies is an extremely important form of management education, and largely in the business schools I have been teaching abroad. I have taught in Sheffield, I have taught in this Institute of Work Psychology in University of Sheffield, and obviously Lancaster University. And Lancaster University has been going up and down in Financial Times rankings. We were as high as 24 in the Financial Times rankings. Slipped again sometime. But one of the basic things, why I'm telling you this is one of the basic things which our thought process has been evolving in my business school around pedagogy when we were moving up the rankings was that how can we be more effective in our teaching. And delivery of effective case studies, as Dr. Raghuvir Singh mentioned, was one of the topmost things which came up. Now, how do you develop effective case studies? Obviously, this workshop is going to help you a lot in doing that. But there will be things beyond that. Once you go back after this workshop, what you do with that knowledge? How do you approach the industry with that? Because make no mistakes. A workshop is only as good or as bad as what you make of it once you are outside the workshop, once the workshop has been delivered. And liaising with the industry, I cannot overemphasize the importance of liaising with the industry doing so. In 2010, my Center for Performance-Led HR, we brought out a book. Maybe you can check it online. I don't have a copy of it right now. It's called Leading HR. In Leading HR, what we developed was, we developed 14 cases, and all the 14 cases are in liaison with the industry leaders, HR leaders of various companies. So we have cases where we have co-written these cases with HR directors of the likes of Vodafone, the likes of McDonald's, the likes of Shell. And in these companies, what we do is, and maybe in these 2 days workshop, we taught the various ways in which we can do that. Industry leaders are very busy. So they do not have so much time that they are going to sit and write, but they have immense contribution to make to case studies, writing case studies. So I'm not talking about teaching case studies. That's a totally different ballgame. I write case studies so I can talk, and I'm more of a researcher who works in the field. I develop cases. I do less of delivery of teaching to students. I do more of a delivery of teaching to executives, who are actually working in the industry. That's executive education is my major thing which I do. And I realize that unless you talk to these industry leaders who are actually practicing in the field, you involve them in your case writing. And it's a sort of a partnership which goes, so they give you the material, so you interview them and you make them a sort of a central linchpin within the industry. They give you the information that you want. And again, another thing to keep in mind is that sometimes this information is very loaded. And what we mean by loaded is that they're going to give you their perspective of, why these things were good or why these things were bad. And many times, the bad things are minimized because that's going to throw them in a bad light. And there's a method what we call triangulation. So by triangulation, you try to, confirm or given information not from one source but from various sources to produce an effective case study. There are various things to keep in mind while you draw out this information. Last but not least, in developing this case study is writing what the information that you gather. So it's a very qualitative exercise rather than a quantitative method. And it is very research-led. And once you start writing a case study, you realize how richer you are. Not by way of, just because you've written a case study, how richer you are when you present yourself in front of the students. Because bookish knowledge, and I should not say so because all the books are such a wealth of knowledge, but only bookish knowledge will only take you so when you stand in front of the class, year after year, if you're delivering the same information from the same book source, students will catch you. Soon your students will grow more in knowledge than you are. You know, imagine 2 or 3 years down the line, a student who was your student 2 or 3 years back knows more about the industry than you do, just because he or she is working there. And the only way the faculty can keep pace and keep the respect of the alumni whom you have taught, you know, when they come back, they will respect you because they believe that you still have much to give to the alumni even on a long-term basis. Why some of these premier institutes, the IIMs, why they retain the aura around them is not because they had taught someone then, but because they can teach them even when they're CEOs, even today. And probably that's the brilliance of why case studies are so important, because you get real-time information on what's happening in the world today, not yesterday. I think that's all I have to say about it.